What's up, Planeswalkers? It's your boy K-Dog. Another fun video for you guys. This one we're in a Temur list. It's kind of built around Zirda the Dawnwaker. Zirda is 1 and then red or white for a 3/3. Legendary Elemental Fox. It does have Companion, but we're just running it here in the main deck. It says abilities you activate that are not mana abilities cost 2 less to activate, and this effect can't reduce the mana to less than 1. So you're always going to be paying at least 1 mana to do this, and then you can also pay 1 and tap it so the target creature can't block this turn. So my idea for this one was to run it with Adapt, because that is an activated ability. So it's going to reduce the cost of that. So we're running a bunch of Adapt creatures. And of course we also have Grumgully that works really well with Adapt, because they come in with additional counter on them, so they automatically adapt. And of course the Grumgully is just a 3/3 for 3. It is legendary, so just a 3 of, so for both of these. And Biomancer's Familiar also kind of fills a similar role. It's a 2/2 for 2, green and blue. Activated abilities of creatures you control cost 2 less to activate. And same thing, they can't be less than 1 mana to activate. You can tap it, and the next time target creature adapts its turn, adapts as though it had no +1/+1 counters on it. So for those of you who don't know, once you adapt, it gets a +1/+1 counter on it. And once it has a +1 counter on it, it can no longer adapt. However, Biomancer's Familiar says if you tap it, then you can adapt again. So that's pretty cool. Their new cards running here are Vivien, Monster's Advocate, 3 green for a 5 mana 3 loyalty Planeswalker. We can look at the top card of our library, and if it's creature spell, we can cast that card. We can +1 make a 3/3 beast token and give it vigilance, reach, or trample. Or we can -2 so that when we cast a creature spell this turn, we search for a creature with lesser converted mana cost, and it goes straight to the battlefield. And since we're pretty much running all creatures here, we're going to obviously always going to get something with it. Our spread is pretty wide here, from 1 all the way up to 5. We do have the 1/6 drop here, and the other new card here is Ghidorah, King of the Cosmos, aka Illuna, Apex of Wishes. This is the Temur 1, 6/6 Flying Trample Beast Elemental. You can mutate it for 6, and when it mutates, you exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land permanent, and then you can put that card onto the battlefield or into your hand. So this is just a pretty sweet card here at our top end. So starting here with a lot of familiar cards: Spectral Sailor, Growth Chamber Guardian is our first adapt creature for 2/2. For 2 mana, we can adapt for 2, get 2 +1/+1 counters on it, and then search for another Growth Chamber Guardian. So that's pretty sweet. And of course, Spectral Sailor, we can pay for to draw a card. And with our Zirda out, it costs 2 mana, because it's 2 less to activate. So that's pretty sweet. And then we also got Brazen Borrower. It doesn't have an activated ability, however, just gives us a little bit of creature interaction. It's a creature that we can also use for the petty theft side to interact with our opponent's board. I also got a couple copies of Nylea. We can get to Devotion with the Growth Chamber Guardian, Grumgully, Vivien, and some of our other creatures. And then she'll become a 5/6 indestructible, and reduces your creature spells, which is pretty fantastic since we're so creature heavy. And then we can pay 3 to essentially draw a creature card. Sharktocrab, 4/4 for 4. Just one of my favorites. You can pay 4 to adapt 1, and when you adapt it, you get to tap target creature and opponent controls, and that creature doesn't untap. So kind of a little bit of a pseudo removal there. And then we got Zegana here. It's also a 4/4 for 4. And enters the battlefield. If you have a creature with a +1/+1 counter, you get to draw a card. So that's pretty sweet. And you can pay 6, adapt 4, and each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it has trample. So yes, just love these 2 cards. Have not seen enough play. We're going to try to make them work here thanks to Zirda and a ton of creatures with activated abilities. And finish out our top end here, Skarrgan Hellkite, which of course has the activated ability where you can deal 2 damage divided as you choose among 1 or 2 targets. But you can only do it if Skarrgan Hellkite has a +1/+1 counter on it. So it does have Riot, so it's going to come in, you can choose haste or a counter. Obviously with things like Vivien, you might just be able to, or Illuna, you might be able to just get this out for free. And then so we have Grumgully that automatically gives a +1 counter. So that's perfect, and then it gets to the +1 counter, and it has haste. So lots of nice little synergies here. So for our mana base, we're running 25 lands, since we do have a pretty expensive top end, lots of activated abilities, things like that. So just having as much flexibility as we can. So basics, 2 island, a mountain, 2 forest. All the shock lands, of course, and then 1 of each of the temples, except 2 temple mysteries, since we are mostly green and blue heavy. Of course, running the new tri-lands just as a 2 of. You don't want to be running too many of these unless you're like in a fires deck or something like that, where you don't necessarily care if these come down tapped later on. And then a couple of Fabled Passages for the extra little bit of fixing, since we are kind of all over the place and have some pretty intense costs with, double red, double green, and things like that. And for our sideboard here, we got a couple Ether Gusts, so just kind of a main, a must. 2 Disdainful Strokes. Since we are so creature heavy, we don't want to get blown out by sweepers, and so we can just hold up Disdainful Stroke, and that will answer pretty much all of the ones that we are concerned about. A couple copies of Essence Scatter. It's kind of a way to interact with Mutate, so we're going to try that out for that purpose. And Fry for the white and blue creatures, anything with control. Lava Coil for some additional creature removal. Thrashing Brontodon is fantastic against mono red, as the 4 toughness is hard for them to deal with, and then we can destroy the Embercleave at instant speed. Klothys, just as 1 of if we need a little bit of life gain or some graveyard interaction. And then for those flash decks, 2 Shifting Ceratops. So that's pretty much the deck, and we'll just jump into some best of 3 and see how we do. So remember when Guilds of Ravnica, that whole block came out, and Growth Chamber Guardian saw a ton of play, and now it doesn't see like any play. So it's fun to kind of get to re-explore that whole mechanic, thanks to Zirda. You're up against Zero Dog 93. All right. It's pretty land heavy, but we do have the tempo play here and the Sharktocrab. So yeah, we'll try it. I just go Stomping Ground into Island, and then we'll have the Petty Theft open. Just slow down our opponent while we kind of look for some of our own creatures. Swamp. Okay. Ooh, Mysterious Egg, so they're going to be trying to adapt. Oh, didn't mean to shock there. That's the misclicked. Double Sharktocrab. Okay, so red and black. Durable Coilbug. Okay. Get done our Growth Chamber Guardian. Hope they don't have removal here. Just go Forest and Adapt would be our ideal play, and then turn 4 Mountain into Sharktocrab. Okay, Labyrinth Raptor, and you don't have a Menace. So I'm not sure what our opponent is on. Playing with all the new cards, so that's pretty sweet. Right, go ahead and adapt. Oops, there we go. Get in for 4. Grab a draw a Growth Chamber Guardian. Yeah, I clicked on it. There we go. So we're both at 16, but they can hit us for at least 4 here, so we'd have to be careful. Gotta get a little bit of pressure going on them. Sharktocrab represents a big body for them to deal with. This Raptor is such a sweet card. And those Menace decks looks pretty strong. Of course, you can check out my my take on Rakdos Menace on my channel as well, if you're interested in that. Out of Ebon Legion, that's pretty nasty. Well, we could also Growth Chamber and then bounce the Knight or something. Might be the better play here since we are under some pressure. Say no attacks. See what they do. If they have mana open for Knight, we might just bounce that. Currently, we don't have anything else with Menace, so they can't pump it up. Doesn't really do much. See how they attack. I'm gonna attack all. Okay. I'm more worried about that than anything else. Maybe we trade here as well. Let's see what they do. Ideally, we will bounce the Raptor and kill both of these, but we'll see if they have some kind of a trick. Easy prey. Okay. Let's just bounce the Knight, I guess. Get in for 2 and keep their creature, but it's alright. We got Sharktocrab here to save the day. And if we live long enough, Vivien will give us a ton of advantage. Well, it's not going to be great to play just yet while I have a Menace creature out. So we probably just Sharktocrab and play Shockland tapped and say go. Okay. And we can't block your Menace creature anyway. I'm not sure how good dead weight is. Okay, so here we have a we have a 1 mana play as well. That's pretty cool. Just say go. We're down to 8. We need to preserve the life total a little bit, but we do have some powerful tools to swing the tide. Our opponent with their aggro deck has had trouble finding lands. Pay 5 to return it to your hand. That's pretty steep. Some better creatures that do that. Obviously, Gutter Bones is really good. I guess we double block here. I don't know if we want to keep taking 2. Let's see what their trick is. As long as one of these Sharktocrabs live, I'm fine, and we get rid of this. Okay, we're just going to pump it up. Indestructible. Okay, so they spend their whole turn just to kill both of our crabs. Let's flash in our Sailor. Another Brazen Borrower, let's see. What do we want? We don't have any flyers. Just go Vigilance.
I call, and Ikoria answers.
And we'll attack him. We have the Petty Theft now, so I think we're in a decent spot. This Raptor is nasty. Whenever a creature you control with Menace becomes blocked, defending player sacrifices a creature. Wow. This card is really, really good. Nightmare Dinosaur. Not a sweet creature type. Okay, I'm just gonna spend your mana now. Sweet. So they can drop their knight. That's about all they can do here. Let's see what we draw. Land. Well, we can minus and try to find a 2-drop. We could just make another beast. That seems fine.
I love making new friends.
I'll attack in. We have Vigilance, so nothing to lose. Do need to put some pressure on them before they turn the tide. Shock land down, say go. And we can just flash these in and then representing what, 7 in the air, so that's pretty good. If they attack in with Knight, we'll have to double block. No attacks. 4-2 for 3. Sweet. Oh, missing another blue source. That's alright. We do have mana open to draw. So let's make sure we do that. Another land. And another land. Oh, there's Zegana on top. Forgot about that. That's pretty sweet. With have a +1 counter on them. So we don't have any +1 counters at the moment. Let's go ahead and -2.
Things are about
Well,
to get
Zegana and get a 3-drop.
I hope things get out of hand.
Or Zirda. Let's go Grumgully though, maybe. Grumgully? Yeah. Grumgully, that's pretty sweet. Biomancer's familiar. It's going to enter with a counter on it. So now we got a board state going on. We'll attack with the flyers, and yep. Our opponent has a pretty interesting deck. Looks like they got a draft deck that they just started to throw into some standard play. Alright, so they are Rakdos, but I don't know if Ether Gust does too much against them. Do you want the Lava Coils? Probably Klothys and Brontodon just for the body. And we'll go ahead and shave off some of our legendaries to make room for the Brontodon. Biomancers feels pretty vulnerable, so we'll shave that down to 2, I think. And we'll shave off Nylea. Also trim Illuna, but I want to see if we can find Illuna this time. I have not played with this deck too much, but I felt pretty good. Alright, of course we shaved off Zirda and Familiar, and we saw a million Sharktocrabs last game, and that's our opening hand. Go figure. We'll keep it. 2 into 3 into 4 seems reasonable. We're going to have to pay life. Mountain go. Okay. Yeah, we'll get the tri-land down. Animation's pretty sweet. And the artwork on these is pretty interesting though. The alternate artwork. I don't know if I love all of them, but I think this one looks pretty cool. It's like a little mountain with crystals and a bunch of birds flying by. And just the colors is like awesome. Granith Stinger. Do we care about that? Play the Familiar and see what they do. I think I'd rather Lava Coil like a the Raptor or something like that. Or the Menace Dinosaur. Or even the Fortu. I don't know, we'll see what else they have. Seem like could be anything. Okay, that one's pretty nasty. If they attack in, I think we'll trade, and then we'll just Lava Coil the 2/2 here. Got a million creatures we're going to find as well, so I think I'm okay with playing a little more controlling here. So next turn we can Sharktocrab, Fabled Passage into Crab, or we could Zirda into Breeding Pool. Spectral Sailor, that's pretty cool. Okay, we're stuck on red here. Yeah, let's get the Sharktocrab down, why not? I don't think it matters. I guess we'll grab blue for the Sailor, maybe. And yeah. Sharktocrab, what you got? That's such a fun card. The Adapt is only 4 to make it a 5/5 and tap one of your opponent's creatures. Well, it is pretty expensive though, 4 plus 4. Spending 8 mana to make a 5/5 that taps down an opposing creature. It's not the best rate, but it's fun. It is fun. Okay, we got the 2/2 again. So this means it costs 2. So yeah, let's go ahead and Zirda. And Adapt. Tap your 2/2 down, get in for 5. That's pretty sweet. Doesn't cost 4 when you got Zirda out. Man, these new cards are so cool. Look at the artwork too. Just take a moment to appreciate this Elemental Fox. Ooh, sacking their creature. Nice. And of course, we found another one. Let's attack in. Play it out. And I guess Breeding Pool. There you go. And we'll just flash in the Sailor end step, of course. Should be just about over. That was a pretty cool removal spell though. Piper of the Swarm. Okay. Well, yeah, no reason not to adapt here. Get in for a bunch of damage. 9. Just 4 mana open to Spectral Sailor. It's probably a little late for Growth Chamber. Pass the turn, and we can just draw on their end step. So unfortunately we can't activate this ability again. Not without a Biomancer's Familiar in play. That would just be busted if we could just keep adapting, making it bigger, and keep tapping down your opponent's creatures. Alright, so sorry, not the best matchup. Obviously, they did have some decent creatures and some removal, so it made things a little interesting. But you got to see what the adapt mechanic can do with Zirda and Vivien. So yeah, got to see some of the new cards and get to play around with some old mechanics as well. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Alright, take care.